What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is me, the Slappy One. We're going to be doing a playthrough of Farming Simulator 22. And we're going to be doing a fun little custom map that I found on the Farming Simulator mod website for Huron County, Michigan, based on an area near Bad Axe. So if you guys are from that area, shout out to you guys. This is a, I believe, 8K map that has a lot of land, a lot of field, a lot of things to work with. Now we're going to be working with a few mods, only a handful. So I'm going to provide the entire list of mods that I'm using down below. If you guys want to check them out, pretty much all of these mods are coming straight from the mod hub in the game. I personally love the mods that Farming Sim does. I'm very careful on what mods I get from outside sources or other websites just because I try to protect my assets, my computer, things like that. You should too. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and get this started up. Now, this map does take a minute to load, so while it loads, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the plan. Plan with this is we are going to do a bunch of farming. It is going to be no loans at all, which is going to be tough. And in order to do that, the fields on these are very pricey, so we have to buy equipment to start, and then from there, we're going to do a bunch of contracts. So this is going to be contract heavy, which is why I do have better contracts, and I have refresh contracts on, just that way that can give a little bit of an edge there. I also have the collect straw admissions mod, so that way I can collect straw with a baler, and I can take that to sell. So that's also going to be something we're going to use very heavily. It's going to influence what contracts I choose to start the game. So the first thing I'm going to do as this loads is, as you can see, it's stuck at 65. It always does this to especially the first time starting up a field. We're doing medium difficulty, by the way, for this, but it always does this in the initial load, at least for my PC, even with the monster specs that I do have. The first equipment I'm going to buy is probably a harvester, a header, a trailer for the header, a trailer to pick up the excess, as well as a tractor to carry the trailer. That way we can start working on that. And I'm also going to get a baler for said tractor as well. So we're going to be getting a lot of work on our tractor as well as that. So the farm, or the map is ready to go. My guy is already here customized, ready to go. And we're set and ready to go. So we're starting with 1.5 mil. I do not plan on taking a loan. As you can see, this is a rather massive map. There are 215 fields all over the course, various sell points, and items to work with. The biggest of which is field 160. I did farm this in my private server the other day, and holy crap, it is big. This is a multi-day venture by yourself. I will warn you now. We will only do that contract if I have the work to do so. So, the first thing I want to do is look at contracts. Actually, no. The first thing I want to look at is going to be the looking for the harvester. Now, we have a lot of harvesters to pick from, but I do have to be careful of my budget, so I can't just run out and get the tractor that I really want, which is the X9. Now, this guy is a mod, but it has a max capacity of 274,000 liters, which is a lot of stuff to pick up. Now, if I was to get this, I mean, I'm looking at almost 600K just for that. No extra additions given, no trailer hitches, or anything like that. And I don't feel like I can afford that with what else I want to do. So instead, I'm going to get one of the mods off of this. Actually, this is a high capacity one. I did not realize that this was here, so I want to just check. It's a 16K liter. High capacity is 24.3. Almost 600K. That's not good enough for the X9 in my opinion. So instead, I'm going to look to something more like this S680, S690. I do want the big grain tank because we do want to be able to store a lot. 22,000 liters for 300K is very well worth it in my opinion. As to the wheel setup, I kind of like that track setup, to be honest with you. I might do this. It's coming under 300K. I like the tracks. They look different than normal. And they come in wide, so I think I'm going to do that because we're harvesting. We want to keep stability. I am going to slap the number 1 on there because this is going to be our number 1 harvester. North American spec. Standard rear hitch. Right there. I do want that just for the trailer. The engine setup, I feel like I don't know. I feel like almost... Hold on. Which one's the highest out of all these? 473, 543, 543. I don't know. I feel like this one would be... I mean, this is the same horsepower compared to this guy. Yeah, so we're going to do that. We're going to stick with the S690 2012 version. It's upping to 72K, so we're only spending about 300 grand on that. Now, I do want a longer pipe. Wow, that's a very long pipe at 8.7 meters. I don't think I need it that. I will take the 7.9 foldable. That should be long enough for what I need with any of the headers that I can purchase. Now, the rear axis, do I want to go wide? Do I want to go this? We're going to keep it regular for now. And then the chopper tailboards, which is right here on the rear. The advanced power cast tailboard. I actually kind of like the way this looks. I don't think it affects anything for performance. And yes, we got to have GPS because we have a GPS mod. And of course, license plate's going to have Slapyone on it. So all in all, this is actually coming in right at 338 grand for a very high cap harvester. High horsepower, high cap in the tank. So I am definitely going to jump on that because that is a very good, solid purchase. Next up, I'm going to go ahead and purchase the header. Now, the header that I have in mind is a bigger header. Specifically, it is, I believe, a 15-meter header. It is this one right here. It's the HD50F. It comes in right at about 100 grand. Very versatile wheat header. Doesn't come with anything crazy on it, like a windrow system or anything else, but it does the trick compared to the other headers that are out there. So yeah, we're gonna stick with that as it is the biggest. It is the most expensive, but it is very well worth it. I do use this in my community server with all three of the harvesters we have there. It works out really, really well. Now for this, I'm gonna go check the combinations. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up this Nardi trailer hitch as well for the header. So we've not even spent 500 grand to start out the plan. This is perfect. So the next thing I want to get is I'm going to go ahead and pick a trailer first. Now, the map does come with its own mods. It does have stuff like the Distinction Super B, and it does come with like the pace setter or the distinction line, and it gives them high caps. So like this Super B, if you know, the game has a base version. This one comes in with like 151 cubic meters, and it can store a lot. It is a $200,000 trailer, but for a map like this, very well worth it. The main color, we're going to black this joker out because, well, why not? Cover is going to be black, not blue. And you know what? 204,000. Yeah, that's going to be well within the budget to be able to do that because now I am going to spend a little bit more, but we're going to get some fun stuff. We're actually going to be getting the TLX Phoenix CMS Custom. I like this one, and specifically for the air filter setup, I want the US double style exhaust. For the vinyls, I believe... Yeah, for the vinyls, I want to do... What is it? I want to do the Houston 3. I personally like this one. And then we're going to go with the colors of my logo. Well, close to the colors of my logo, I think. Dakota, yeah, there we go. This is going to look almost like what my color logo is. Frame is black, and the rim color is also going to get jet blacked out because we want this thing to look awesome. As far as the engine setup, we are going to up 30 grand into it, and we're going to get a monster 1100 horsepower motor. That way it can carry all that we need, and believe me, we are going to need that because I am going to buy the high cap Super B, which I believe I just bought. So, yep, it's there. I have the trailer. The last thing I need is nothing. So we're going to go ahead and get this started. We spent $789,000 on our new vehicles, and this gives us something to work with. Now, there's other things I'm going to end up purchasing as well, but this allows me to really kind of focus on, well, other activities, because we're going to get this guy linked up real quick here. Ta-da! And then the last thing I'm going to go ahead and buy, I mentioned earlier, we are going to focus on getting Balers, so I'm going to get this. Specifically, I think I'm going to get this Crone one here because it's got a really wide working width, and it works with square bales. I might get the Kloss one but it does have a wide pickup range, which is good. Works with square bales, and can do various sizes of those as well, which is exactly what I'm wanting to do, because 1, I can sell the bales as square, or 2, I can save them for later and use them for stuff like cows. So I think I'm going to go ahead and get that. It's $200K for the bale, but it fits exactly what I need, and it falls within the budget. Last but not least is going to be the tractor that we're trying to go after. Now, I could scroll all the way over, and we could, go after the big John Deeres and this, that, and the other, and that's all fine and dandy if I wanted to go for something like that. And I kind of do. But at the same time, I'm also not going to jump around and get, the Case IH Steiger, because it's a monster, but I don't need that kind of horsepower floating around my farm yet. So instead, I'm going to actually just drop down. We're going to grab, which one is it? I had a plan for this. I might just get the Series 8R, because why not? But I think I'm going to do, hang on, where is it? I might just do these tires on it. I haven't decided yet if I want to do those. The thin crops. Actually, no. I don't want to do that one. I do want to do the 8RT because, well, my favorite YouTuber actually uses this. Well, one of my favorite YouTubers. I have a lot of them that I like. But he actually has an 8RT, I believe, on his farm. Check out the Millennial Farmer if you haven't. As far as the tracks, though, that's actually really wide, and that looks really goofy in my opinion. That looks even okay, those look just goofy in my opinion. I mean, those are probably legitimate setups, but that just looks goofy to me. So I'd rather get something like that, actually. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Wide width on the bottom to give me some stability. Work with that. We are going to add a GPS because it is a tractor. And for this guy, we are going to go ahead and bump the motor up to the 458 horse just because we need some beef. And I'm going to go ahead and also get the US style configuration. So we have the rear hitches ready to go. All of that looks great. I'm going to throw a triangle in there just because we need to. And then finally, last but not least, is the front weight. We're going to put an 1,800 kilogram front weight because we might do some plowing with this thing. Who knows? But yeah, 410K comes right in. So now we have all of the equipment we need for our farm ready to go. So this is the lineup, the prize start to the game. Now, we have spent 12 minutes loading the map, planning on what we're going to do, setting up our initial equipment. Now, yes, is this a bit overkill? Absolutely. But it works in the beginning because we're going to focus, as I said, on contracts. Because if we wanted to go for a field, they're not cheap to start. Like, let's just say we're looking at a starting field 96 here. 3.1 million because you have to get this whole section. Or even down here, 1.3 mil for these two farms, like in the corners. So, I mean, even the small stuff is 2.2 million. This group right here, 2.9. These farms I start out with, they're 1.2 million each. And these are, like, supposed to be what you start with. And they're 1.2. So I could have chosen a farm with no equipment or equipment with no farm. And I'd rather get equipment with no farm because then I can go ahead and take that and make it work for me. So we're going to go ahead and move the Super Bee out of the way. We're just going to move this guy over here. Then I'm going to go ahead and get this tractor ready to go. We're just going to have him grab the cloths over here to pick up our baleage. Actually, I do want to double check one thing. I believe the cloths can handle all of that. Yeah, it can handle square bales. Okay, that's exactly what I wanted. I'm just going to take a peek in here at what we got. There was an 8RX for 143K. What? I missed it. And I could have got this. Okay, whatever. No love lost. I love the 8RX. It's a good series, but I mean, I gotta have my tracks. Anyway, so here's what we're gonna do, guys. We are going to grab a contract, and specifically, I want to go for a harvesting contract because there's a ton of contracts available right out of the gate, which is what I love about this map. Now, there's a few things here, a few things there. All things considered, I'm gonna drop my time down to 1 just to be safe. There's a lot of good harvesting contracts now. There's Field 3, Field 49, Field 63. They're all tempting because they're 100-something thousand. Now, Field 3 is a 384-acre farm in the corner of the map. So that would mean I'm harvesting this gigantic monster here. Now, I love you guys, but I'm probably going to take this contract and not do it on camera. I'm probably just going to do some highlights and bits and like check-ins and things like that. Because, yeah, it's an odd-shaped field to begin with. And two, it's going to take me a lot of time, which I just don't have. At least at the moment. So instead, I'm going to go after a smaller field at 152 acres, or 150, for 63 or 49. I'm probably going to get both, because 49 here is a nice square field, great, easy to work with. The other is which field? I said 63, which is this long field right here. So guess what? We're actually going to harvest 63, because I have the equipment for that. 49 is harvesting canola, which is cool, but I want to harvest the wheat. So I'm going to go ahead and take that contract. I'm going to see if anybody else has wheat. 68 has wheat, which is a pretty quick one I can get. I'll probably do that one as well, just so I can get the straw from it. Which one is 68, actually? Because that one, oh, that one's right here. That's perfect. We're going to go ahead and accept that contract. And last but not least, I have another wheat in 186, but that's way down here. It's what? Oh, way down there. I'm not sure if I want to do that far out. So we'll sit on those for now. So we have 63 and 68 to harvest, both for wheat. Which means we're going to hop in this guy. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is we're going to run this around this way, because I got to get this on the header, or on the trailer. There's no way I'm going to drive a combine like that. Oh, I just ran over my trailer. Oof. That's okay. That's why we have insurance. And because once we put it on there, it's going to snap to the trailer and be ready to be secured. It's one thing that I do love in 22 that I don't think existed in 19. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and get this rocking and rolling. I can remember how to turn my combine. And that's why I bought a hitch. That way I can get this guy on there. We're going to go ahead and get all the wee-woo lights on, as I like to call them. All the flashers, all the signals. And we're going to go ahead and start going. We're going to start with 68. And while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and just unfold the harvester just so the pipe is ready to go, because we all know that that's an essential bit. And now it's going to take a minute to save. And this is also one thing to keep in mind with bigger maps. It will take your PC, your computer, your setup longer to save these, because there is a lot more content for it to go through. That is okay for that to happen, because it's a much bigger file. So do keep that in mind, especially if you play single player. On servers, it's not as bad because the server kind of does the save on the back end, but just keep that in mind. So now, we're at 20 minutes. We haven't even started harvesting. So you guys are like, Slappy, get on with your content. Okay, I got it. We're going. What I'm going to do is we're going to spend the last little bit of this video setting up for the first contract. Oof, I'm driving through a field. I don't want to do this. Excuse me, farmer. That's another thing. Farming Sim 22. If you drive through somebody's field that's not your own, it's fine. It's not going to damage it. I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. You guys are going to yell at me. I'm also going to turn off crop destruction, just because I know me. You guys can yell at me all you want. So we're going to have autosave every 15. Timescale is real. Economic difficulty is normal. Traffic, it doesn't matter in this map. It doesn't exist. Seasonal growth is 1 day. I might change that to 3 day later just because I can. But yeah, so that's that. You can see how things look out here. We have our plant chart, our seasons, as it were, which I think is a great addition to the Farming Sim game. There was the Seasons mod back in Farm Sim 19, which was like super cool to have because you had to plan around seasons. This comes base in the game, which I think is actually really cool. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to show you guys what this particular mod... I mentioned at the start of this that I have the Collect Straw Admissions mod. And what does that do? That is a great question as I run right into my trailer again. My straw swath is enabled, or I can bring the tail feather down, let that be there. But I don't need that. There's a couple things we're going to do to start up. We're going to line up. And then I am going to hit Alt-C. Notice on the right-hand side, some icons lit up. And then we're going to turn on our guidance steering. Now, I'm going to double-check this heading here in a moment because it's on. But I should be able to not have to steer anything. It's going to keep me in a straight line. Now, this is a beautiful thing to have for GPS because now I can just sit here and be hands-free and talk to you guys and stir my noodles that I'm going to eat after I record this while while we do this. And I don't have to worry about trying to focus on keeping anything straight or worry about the lines or anything like that. This allows me to keep that satisfaction as we go. Now, the collect straw at missions means that I can turn on a straw swath and leave it behind, and I can come back and collect it as if it were my own. I'm also going to drop this down just because I like to look better that way. It doesn't affect anything that I know of. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. But we're going to run this. So, that's going to be that for... Actually, you know what? We're going to keep running. I was going to say finish this line, but we're just going to run through and go. But basically, I can come back and harvest all of that straw I'm leaving on the ground and turn it into my own. Which reminds me, the last thing I need to buy is a bale loader. Now, we have square bales. This bale loader is great for round bales, and I love this trailer to death because it can hold 24. But for square bales, we're going to grab this guy right here. It's an auto stack for squares. It can hold 14 bales. It's not as much as this at 24, which I wish it did. This can hold 14. This holds 14. So yeah, we have pretty good options for our square bales. This stacks them up in a line. So that way, when it dumps them out, they're going to be right there. So you can actually stack them as you need to. This will hold 3. Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and actually get the Arcusin. We'll go ahead and get this because it's pretty much 14 bales as well. It's exactly what I need for squares. And I believe it can handle... Yeah, it holds 14 for squares. So we're going to go ahead and... Actually, wait. No, I can't get this one because it does not hold the right size. I'm going to get the big bales at the 240. So this is going to be the one I need. We're going to go and buy it at 90 grand. It leaves me all at 24K to do what I need to do. That's all right. That is all right. So we're ending out our first line. I'm going to go ahead and sit here with the header up. Let the rest of this plop out real quick. I have to drive over 63. This is why I turned off crop destruction, because I knew this would be a thing. But if I set everything up right with this, and I should have, I should be able to Alt-X. And this is going to line me right back up on the next row and allow me to continue going. Ta-da! Look at that, perfect cut. And that's exactly what I want, because now I can sit back, I can watch Netflix, I can watch Hulu, Disney Plus, whatever your fancy is. But yeah, so this allows you to do that. Now, for sake of time, I'm going to stop the harvester. We're going to jump over to our baler, because I want you to see the purpose of the Collect Straw at Missions contract. Now, I don't have anybody else playing on this. This is a single-player world. I don't have all of this on my server. My server is not that powerful. It is one I rent. But we're going to go ahead and unfold this guy as we go, which I think is super cool. It's got all these rakes out here, so like if you have like a field of grass you mow after you windrow it together, you don't have to have like a straight line or anything like that. You can actually be a little bit more adventurous with your windrowing. You don't have to be as precise, which I think is super cool, especially for grass fields. And one thing I've noticed with grass fields, when I played like Elm Creek, is that they actually turn out super profitable. So keep that in mind, guys. Grasslands definitely will do it. In fact, while we're waiting, grass here sells for a bit of price. I think this is per 1,000 liters. But there's places that'll buy it. So we might just buy us a field if we're good enough. We'll buy us a field and go from there. But we got to get to that point first. So anyway, we'll go ahead and change our bale size. We want the 240 centimeter. Oh, I don't want to turn that on just yet. Oh, okay, now it's on. Now it's off. I want to keep it off for a minute because we want the speed. And now, here's what I'm going to do. We're going to line up right about here. And I'm not going to turn on the GPS mod for this because I just want you guys to see. But this is going to allow me to start collecting straw from this mission, which normally you can't do, which is an amazing, amazing feature. And I wish this was kind of base game, but it is what it is. But we're going to be able to run through this line, collect all the straw, and we're going to be able to just start dropping bales out. So that is the purpose of Collect Straw at Missions. This is another element that allows us to collect a lot of straw very quickly. And I don't have to worry as much about lines given the baler that we have. So, ta-da! This is amazing in and of itself. These bales are going to make us money. This field is going to make us money. And in turn, we're going to be able to get to that 1.2 million a lot quicker so we can start buying initial fields and go from there. Now, with that in mind, I'm going to go work on farming this out while I have my noodles. I mentioned I was stirring them earlier. I'm going to absolutely roast my mouth out because they are very spicy. And I'm going to farm this for a little while. So stay tuned for video 2. I'm going to go ahead and finish farming this off camera. So that way we are well on our way to starting 63. I'll probably even go ahead and do that in between. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll chime in and do some updates. Maybe even video 2 will be a time-lapse of farming out 63. Who knows? But I do appreciate you guys being here. If you like what you see, make sure that you are hitting that subscribe button. Make sure also you keep that notification bell dinged so that way you know when new videos go live. And that way you can partake in all the slappy things. Also remember to keep an eye on the fact that I do have a Twitch stream. I do occasionally stream Farming Sim. I also stream other games. So we do get into a bit of things. Twitch.tv/theslappyone. But with that, guys, I thank y'all for being here. Have a great rest of your day, your morning, your night, whatever you are watching. Know that you're loved, you're appreciated, and have a good one.